Hello, good to have you on the program to say it's still the economy today. And of course, as we've come on, we have things to share as well. As we've just started, we're looking at the economy and looking at the nation's finances, and we want to find out how people think and what they think about it. Okay, Chukwanobabu here, and I've got my guest that is seated already here with me, with whom we'll run this program today. And of course, we won't forget that we still have our segments. We have the news bit, we have from the business news, as well as the discussion program that you're seeing that we're just about to start with. Let me welcome my guest. I'm talking about Prince Ezra Batachiboso. Good to have you on the program, Prince. Right. Prince Chiboso is a lawyer, and we'll talk about these things today. We'll say, good to have you, as I said, and this is beginning of many, many days. We'll see you here on the program.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. We would go straight into looking at what we have from the business news immediately. Then we'll return here to do a bit of a discussion.
Truck park operators in Ono River State have declared full support for the Nigerian Port Authority's NPA implementation of the electronic call-up system. The move is expected to ease the debilitating gridlock along the Eastern Ports Corridor, improve the speed and efficiency of cargo evacuation, and reduce financial losses caused by the delayed rollout of the policy, which had enabled unregulated truck movement and extortion by non-state actors. Now confirming the readiness of industry players, Chairman of the Nigerian Port Consultative Council, NPCC, Ono Chapter Godwin Ololuke, said preparations for the e-call-up system have been concluded along the Ono Ports Corridor. Ololuke added that the initiative is expected to streamline truck entry, reduce random parking on port access roads, and improve operational predictability for port users. Central Bank of Nigeria CBN survey report has shown that banks recorded increased default rates on secured loans in the third quarter of the year 2025. Surprisingly, the CBN report titled Credit Condition Survey, which was released, showed that the default rates on unsecured loans were lower during the review period. However, according to CBN, respondents noted that there was increased credit availability in third quarter 2025 compared to the previous quarter. CBN noted that the increase in credit availability was attributed to the changing economic outlooks for secured and corporate lending, while changing appetites for risks was the main factor that influenced unsecured credit availability. The survey report further stated lenders reported a decrease in default rates for unsecured lending, while experiencing an increase in default rates for secured lending during the review quarter. Nigeria's mutual fund industry has recorded further surge, with total net asset value climbing to a remarkable 7.3 trillion naira in 10 months. Ending October 24, 2025, an impressive 96.98% growth from 3.7 trillion naira in the same period 2024. The rise in mutual funds is a reflection of investors' appetite for regulated and diversified financial instruments amid tightening monetary conditions and high inflation. The MFS, known for their short-term, low-risk investment approach, attracted the lion's share of new inflows, with the NAV rising to 4.3 trillion naira from 1.5 trillion naira in October 2024. The sharp rise reflects both investor flight to safety and the growing attractiveness of yields on treasury bills, commercial papers, and other fixed income instruments.
Well, we're still here, we're talking, and we've still got a lot to share. Definitely we'll take a break. We'll take a break, but then we'll still have a lot to share on the program today. We'll bring in the news bit. We will have a brief discussion here. Looking at the topic of our discussion for today, we will now go talk about it. And the topic is the nation's finances. So we want to find out, as I have my guest here with him to talk about it, that people's expectations and the nation's finances. Prince Ezabata, let's talk about it. Looking at it the way it is, what do you see it as? Let's start from there.
Okay, the nation's finances is like a rickety car. It's steady, yet still groveling between bad roads, potholes, and what have you. As at Q3 of this year, Nigeria's fiscal policy and our GDP increased about 25% from last year. It increased, well, good, I would say perfect, it's okay. But in reality, how does it affect the ordinary Nigerians in the streets? How does it affect ordinary Nigerians in the streets? The woman at Ocean that sells Gary, it doesn't reflect it for her. It doesn't for her, and it's just like paying for house rents before groceries. For Nigerians do not see the effect, even though on paper it have increased exponentially. About from last year, it have increased 3.1%. From last year, 3.5%, which was our GDP from last year. So yes, our GDP, well, our economy is like a car bouncing through potholes, rickety roads, and all these things. It's just there, nothing good.
It's just there.
Yes.
Looking at it, would you say that this is what it should be for a country, considering the fact that we have rich resources, and we have rich resources rather, resources, be it human, be it natural, all of it are available in Nigeria?
No, absolutely no. I'll say this, Nigeria is blessed. We have vast resources, we have rich agricultural land, we have talented youths, about 200 million young Nigerians in the country with eligible youths. But this, we have potentials, we have mineral resources, we have what have you, we could go on and on. So it doesn't really reflect our potential. Come on, according to the World Bank have positioned Nigeria to have an economy of $1 trillion as at 2030. But on paper, this doesn't reflect that position. So there's a lot that needs to be done. Yes, we are doing quite a number of things. The government's tax reforms are there, here and there, some few tax tweaks and all. However, the Nigerian people need to see these reforms particularly on them. The price of goods, of services, and of course, with insecurity ravaging the country, the infrastructural deficit, and debt services that is being spent, Nigerians need to see these reforms and these economic realities to them. Well, on paper, there's an increase, but in reality, there's a decrease of 40% from the previous year. So, a lot needs to be done regarding that.
Okay, let's look at the fact that there are experiences that people get to have. Looking at these experiences, you see, for the fact that you just mentioned some of the things that have to do with the infrastructure, our roads are there, and the areas where you find agricultural produce, in most cases, there are not good enough roads to aid the transportation of these products from the market, from the farm to the market. You look again and see that even in such areas where you have roads that are good enough, there is the fear for their lives because of the fact that we're talking about terrorists and kidnappers and all, and somewhat the ones that even, and there's this other one, the cattle rearers, that go into bushes all around and affect the thing that's going on in the farm. And in some cases where you see that they come in and force the people to do the other, and in the case of any misunderstanding, they kill. And so people are finding it difficult to go to the farm because of the fact that there's insecurity. And then you also see, even when they go, when in some areas they are allowed to farm, and at the end of the farming season, at the harvest period, these fellows come and force these farmers to harvest for them, and they take these things away. Looking at all of these things, these are some of the experiences of Nigerians. Looking at all of it, is it a rosy story? What is it like? You know, I'm asking this because I know you are a business and finance lawyer. so I know you understand business.
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking about. Looking at it, is it a good story? Is it a beautiful story for Nigerians as an experience?
Yes, yes.
Looking at it, what would you say concerning that?
Okay. You see, our constitution, section 16 of our constitution provides that government have the responsibility to ensure economic reforms. And these government have been doing quite a number of times. Tax reforms, for instance, the Finance Act of 2023 encouraged production of agricultural businesses and imports expenditures for Nigerian businesses. And if you look at the ISA, which is the Investment and Securities Act, you would see that there have been quite a good number of reforms. But then this is good. This is perfect. But when you look at the realities of Nigerians, particularly when you go to the interiors, the satellite towns, where agriculture, which is our major production plant, is needed from, there are challenges. Because when you plant, seeking to harvest, some hoodlums comes and they displace you from your farms, your library, your stock, your business, and then you leave. It affects generally our production. It affects everything. So as at last year, World Bank released a report that Nigeria is exponentially seen to house one of the greatest African food mine. Last year, the World Bank reports. But in reality this year, we don't see such things. We don't see such things. And I'll tell you one thing, Phil. The fact is this, that although we are doing well, the law is there, reforms are there, but on paper, in reality, things need to be done. You can't expect Nigerians to continue harvesting for bandits.
Yes.
You can't harvest to continue harvesting.
Rather than do that, you better stay back.
Now, look at it. Now, the good thing is this, Nigeria now produce about 1.5 barrels of petrol per day with the Dangote refineries. That's a good one. It's a good one, yes, that's fine. The economy in that area, we see, look at finance, look at ICT, look at petroleum, we are doing good. However, transportation, I did not save for the farmers. I did save for businessmen. I did save for investors to come in. The country save for people to come in to invest in agriculture. Yes, for instance, the new taxation law, the Tax Act, the new law that will be enforced from next year, gives some tax relief for agri-production companies and businesses. That's a good one. It's good for the economy. But even at that, we must look at what are the other things? What are the things, the challenges in practice?
Environment.
Is the platform there? Well, the tax is to enable people to incentivize people to go into agriculture. That's fine. But Nigerians are scared. If I should go into agriculture, where is the power supply to preserve this product? Now, this is affect production. Where is the security that's preserved? Okay, I transport my goods from the interior to the city. Where is the good roads? Where are the good roads? They're not there. And these are what Nigerians are needing from the government. These are what they need from the government. Absolutely, this is what they want from the government. Aside this, I think we are doing quite a number of things, and it's good. Our reforms are there. The World Bank have positioned us, like I said, as one of the growing African economy. But governments, government agencies, individuals must come together to set up solution mechanisms for our challenges, to see how we can mitigate this challenge that we face in doing business in Nigeria. One is insecurity.
That is just one of the many things that could be referred to as the ills bedeviling the nation. Insecurity. And just as you said, that one is insecurity. It seems to be, honestly, that one is just the number one of all of these problems. When that one is taken out of the way, then the others can naturally happen, you know. We've had bad roads for a long time now, but they have been able to maneuver and find how to do it. And we've also had well, that same insecurity affects this matter of the that are going to disturb people in their farms. How can someone prepare to go to farm and be working and working, but the day it will be time for him to harvest, some group of people or a group of people will come and ask the fellow to harvest. And after harvesting, they will take it all away. If it were myself, I wouldn't be able to go back to that farm, because I would say that, as my people say, that I will not wash my hand to go and break palm kernel, and after breaking it, then that I should eat and give to others. After breaking it, the chicken will come and collect it and eat it, and I won't find it anymore. It doesn't make sense. That's why you find out that in some cases, people who, like, let's use Benue for an instance. Benue has been known as the food basket of Nigeria. And Benue, I think Benue is about the most hit state in Nigeria today concerning all these things. And that basket seems to have been torn in different different sectors, you know. People, some forces, negative forces have come to tear the basket and destroy it one way or the other.
Puncture.
Thank God it's still punctured, because it's open in the first place. So, so the fact is, it is still working. I'm even amazed at the fact that there is still food coming from Benue, because right now, I know that if you're looking for Gari, you can find Benue Gari, apart from the fact that there is Edo Gari and Delta Gari. But the major one comes from Benue State, and is still there. How they are doing it, I don't know, because it's from the cassava that they have planted in their farms. So I still find it amazing that they are still getting something from that place. Yam, there used to be so much yam in the market, and you'll be told it's from Benue State. I don't know whether that kind of huge quantity of yam, say, comes from Benue, but it still comes, but not that huge the way it used to be. So definitely there is need for effective security to keep our country safe, especially looking at Benue as the food basket of the nation. Apart from Gari and yam, there are so many other things that come from Benue. So many other things. They have rice. I used to make boast then, years back, about 10, 15 years ago, that I would buy beautiful rice from Benue, and I would buy it at Utako Market. And it's well packaged, destoned, and all okay, Benue rice. I used to buy it from Utako Market then. But these days you hardly find it, because they are afraid. They are afraid to go to the farm to do anything. And even the ones that are doing it, many of them have gone to the great beyond because of what has been happening to them. So apart from rice, apart from yam and Gari, they have rice, good rice. I know that there is rice in so many other areas too, but there are some that you refer to as the very best of the rice we have, like the rice we find in Kebbi. I remember some years back, Lagos State had to go into partnership with Kebbi State to produce lake rice. That lake rice, I don't know whether it still exists today. Lagos would send the funding and as a counterpart, and they finish everything there. It will be packaged and sent to Lagos for sale and sold in Kebbi and other parts of the country. I don't know whether such things still happen. And just next to Benue, we have Kogi State that also, Kogi State that has a lot to give as far as agriculture is concerned. And we'll find there that most of the things there don't happen the way they used to be. I don't know whether you have considered the cost or the price of cashew nuts for some time now. No. I used to buy cashew nuts here in Abuja. This city in this Abuja, I bought cashew nuts for 800 naira for a bottle. And that bottle is not 50 cl. I think it's more. I think it's 75 cl. I used to buy it for 800 naira. But today, the last time I bought it was 8,500 naira. This same quantity. And it's because of all these problems that we have.
Yes.
And so Kogi, that has a lot of it. Enugu State has it too, but then the major place where you can find it all is Kogi. And it still baffles me that we have not seen any food processing company in Kogi State. And it's a shame that such things are happening in our country. So I don't know. Looking at it generally, the way you've seen it, do you think there is, what would you say to the people who are into these production processes, the farmers and all that? What word, if you like, it could be a word of encouragement or whatever you can offer. And then what word do you have for the government in the first place? Though you've said some already, let's talk about it.
You see, the Constitution provides that government has a responsibility. One of it, they have many responsibilities. One of it is to ensure that the cost, the livelihood of people, the safety of people is respected and is preserved. And I think in law, this is one of the paramount responsibility of a functioning government. With the current wave happening in the country, there is a need to mount more and more pressure on the government. There's a need to mount more and more pressure on the government from political actors, independent bodies, CSOs, NGOs, and even private individuals. Now, aside from agriculture, when you look at the economy, look at things like, when you look at other places like business ventures like finance, like ICT, like petroleum, oil and gas, there is a huge market there. And now our focus should be on how do we monitor the expenses and use of these resources from these sectors. How do you monitor them? And I think Nigeria, henceforth, Nigeria should be abreast with the FOI Act. What is the FOI? FOI is called the Freedom of Information Act. It's an act of the National Assembly that ensures that Nigeria has the right to seek answers, clarity, and even to seek transparency on whatsoever that is happening in the government. Any reports, expenditure, funding, finance, and what have you. Nigerians has that right. So Nigerians should really, really utilize the FOI Act to seek information. You see, the federal government, state government, even all arms of government and government parastatal have that responsibility to be transparent in their dealing. How do they spend our the tax revenue? How do they spend the revenue from oil? How do they spend the revenue from agriculture? Yes. How do we spend the revenue from ICT, entertainment? Now, these are issues that we need to look into. Beyond the agriculture, beyond the insecurity, we should not box ourselves to a corner. Nigerians, even as lawyers and business lawyers myself, we should be particular about how government spends their revenue, our tax, our dividend, our collective national resource. Now, I also look at how to expand other frontiers. You see, for a long time, Nigeria have been invested in petroleum, but we need to shift. We need to shift the front line. We need to shift the front line. We need to engage ourselves. Look at the current dispensation going on. The first world is heavily invested in technology and blue economy. We must look into that frontiers and see how we can manage it and also involve Nigerians in these sectors. And finally, I must say something finally before I hang up, is this. We should be ready as a people and willing as a government to appoint capable hands to man industries. Of recent, if you go to the news, a senior lawyer, a son, was appointed to head the Ministry of Technology and Innovation. And you ask yourself, how does that ministry and its peculiarity, as important and as crucial as that ministry is, how is it good? How does a son fit to head that ministry? A lawyer, a legal practitioner. How? Now, this calls a question, and this calls for more attention. And this is it here. Nigerian governments must, time is going, time is passing. We're in an age where the world is growing and moving so fast. We can't afford to appoint and give positions to people based on party fraternity or loyalists. We must give a of credible hands and the experience. I think for me, that's my two kobo on that. And I believe Nigerian economy, like I said previously, a car, you can take a car moving, it needs a balanced road. It needs good roads, it needs functioning tire, well-pumped tire that will bounce and not bump, not burst. These are things that Nigerians need to Nigerian government particularly needs to put in place to ensure that the moving vehicle, which is the car, doesn't stop, but to move on in maximum speed.
Talking about that movement, I will ask straight away, let me pick this on. That's, you're saying what it should be. Now, what should it, from the way you're looking at the economy today, what should be done and where do you see our economy if all things were to be well managed, maybe in the future?
You see, the World Bank gave a report that Nigeria is positioned to be to weigh at 2030 $1 trillion. That's a huge ambition.
Huge amount of money.
And according to Business Insider reports as of last year, the Nigerian economy as of this year, Q3 of this year, is expected to be about 20% decrease in inflation. Now, all these things being equal, in reality, it's not playing out. Now, peradventure, and I hope it does happen, these things are put in place. Our economy is smooth sailing. Insecurity, banditry, terrorism, all these things are quelled down. There's peace, there's harmony amongst all tribes and regions in Nigeria. Businesses have an enabling policy to thrive. There's funding, not based on party affiliations, based on credibility, based on honesty, based on sincerity. Yes, of the government and the people. I see Nigerian as like the car I mentioned. I see the car moving smoothly. Yes. We have the resources. We have the resources.
That's one
vast lands. We have young people so energetic. Go to the Nollywood, go to the music, go to entertainment, go to what have you. Look at the businesses. Look at our academic system. We are doing so well as a people. We are thriving. And what happens is that when this thing happens, when hope gets punctured over time, our best mind leave the country. Yes. Our best mind leave the country. The best lawyers leave. The best entrepreneurs leave. Go start a business somewhere. The best doctors leave because of the economy. The inflation is biting hard on them. Now, our minimum wage, at least current age, is still less than $1. $1 is equal to 1,500 naira. $1. But what's the minimum wage now? It's not even up to. It's not up to $1 times in a month. So we need to work on issues like this. We need to be invested in our economy as a people, even as a government. I think for me that's just my QED on that.
Okay, thank you so much, Prince Ezabata. I thank you so much for being here today. We will not let you go yet. We'll just hold on and look at something else, Prince Ezabata Chibuzo. Thank you. We'll still share some more, but right away, we'll take the one we refer to as news bits, then we'll return to start rounding off for the day.
Oil taxes and revenue collected in the oil and gas sector for the month of September dropped by 345.19 billion naira. According to the document presented to the Federal Account Allocation Committee at its October meetings and cited by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, said taxes collected in the sector was 302.5 billion naira. It said the performance is lower than the August 2025 collection of 644.5 billion naira. A 341.98 billion naira reduction and representing a 53.06 decrease. It said the figure is lower than the 2025 monthly target of 600.16 billion naira, a reduction by 297.65 billion naira. That is 49.60% for sure. The service explained that the reason for the decrease in the Petroleum Profit Tax (PPT) collections when compared with previous month is due to decrease in the receipts from Production Sharing Contract (PSC). On its part, the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission (NOPEC) said the amount is collected on behalf of the federal and the 36 state governments of the Federation dropped by NGN 3 billion 216,634,047.54 naira due to drop in oil production and oil price fluctuation in the month of September. It will be recalled that the Nigeria's crude oil production shrank to 1.39 million barrels per day in September 2025, marking the second consecutive month of reduced output. The NOPEC has said this was due to the disruptions caused by the labor strike during the rift between Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria and Dangote Refinery. According to the latest monthly oil market report released by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, the figure represents a decline from 1.434 million naira barrel per day recorded in August and is the lowest in 7 months, falling below Nigeria's OPEC allocation of 1.5 million barrel per day. OPEC stated that the production figures were obtained through direct with Nigerian authorities. As Nigeria continues to battle inadequate supply of electricity to power homes and businesses, over 8,000 megawatts of electricity lay idle in workshops of the 28 electricity generation companies that are connected to the national grid. According to the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC), Nigeria's 28 electricity power plants have a combined capacity to produce 13,625 megawatt electricity, but due to some challenges, an average of 5,395.72 megawatt is produced per hour. Despite the little generation for a country that is stated to need over 30,000 megawatts to meet its economy and population of over 200 million, only 3,781.94 megawatts reach homes and industries owing to inefficiency on the transmission lines and distribution NIGCOMSAT. For instance, an average of 9% of electricity generated on the grid does not get to the distribution companies in the first half of 2025, while the NIGCOMSAT rejected an average of 191.49 megawatt worth of electricity hourly in the first quarter of 2025 and 79.59 megawatts in the second quarter.
It's been talking about all these and looking at the stories, looking at that story again, talking about megawatts and all that. Our country, we're going through a lot, and a lot is going through Nigeria. People talk about the electricity supply, and a lot has been provided, but then it has not passed through the channels to reach everyone everywhere. These are problems that must be solved for us to be effectively developed. So when we talk about the finances that we are working on, there is need to have things done the right way. Oh well, even the charges, we've been told that some of these things will be discussed in this year, within now and the first quarter of next year. Let's see, and we just hope that things will get perfectly okay for businesses to thrive in Nigeria. Electricity, lack of it has affected many producers, that some have even left the country, apart from talking about insecurity, electricity supply and all that. And when you spend so much on powering your station or your outfit, then it also will tell on the production and everything that's happening, on the cost or the price of whatever it is that you have. Well, these and so many other things are the things that we're praying and talking about here, so that they will be taken care of, so that our economy will be made better, our finances will be changed, and people will have what they ought to have, and life made better for our people. Small businesses, big businesses, they all need the same assistance, the same thing, because when you talk about this, there is the small, the micro, the medium, and large-scale businesses we have in Nigeria. So we just hope that things will get better. Things will get better. For Nigerians, generally, we are hoping that we will not remain the way we we have remained in a position for too long, and we're hoping that things will happen for a difference to be felt, seen, understood, and known. Not just for us to hear that the GDP or the foreign reserve in particular has gone high. They will ask, what has it done to us as individuals in the country? Well, that is it, talking about all this. We'll be able to look at the fact that our finances, the money, has been going, and we also have been told about the fact that some of the fears that people have also, those fears have affected the stock market. So we just want to look at all this as we go on our programs and talk about them, though we won't be looking at the stock market today, but we'll still look at it in other days to come. I want to thank you for being there, and I want to ask Prince Ezabata Chibozo, who has just been here this day, to say, Prince, I know you've said where you hope to see us even in the future. If there is any other thing that we can do in our country to get better, I guess it is encouraging the small and medium scale businesses. Do you see them as the root, honestly, root of the future development of Nigeria? And startups, as you mentioned a bit of it in the IT matter, how do you see them? How do you think they can go?
Nigeria has a robust technological sector. Now, we have unicorns like Flutterwave, like Paystack, right? We have MoneyPoint, for instance. We have Kuda banks. Now, these are startup. And aside startups, we have SMEs, MSMEs that have built from SMEs and MSMEs to big corporations and big companies. You see, although the nation and its peculiarities is challenging, I won't fold my hands and just ignore one thing about Nigerians, is that we are very resilient. We are very resilient. You see, Nigeria have surmounted a lot. We've gone through a lot. We've gone through challenges. We've gone through setbacks. We've gone through divisions. We've gone through a lot of things. Considering our vast population, our vast resources, our vast talents, all these things mixed together with our challenges, we still come out, notwithstanding everything, and still come out strong. Now, I believe in the future of Nigeria. I believe in the youth. I believe in young persons like me. I believe in young persons like me. And one thing is this: one person should begin to think beyond the box. Should begin to think beyond the box. Businesses should look at how to incorporate, internet, how to incorporate the tools of the global economy, how to incorporate advertisements into their industry, beyond just the traditional way of doing things. How do we incorporate modern tools, modern infrastructure, modern ideas into our business? These are what we should look out to. And you see, and now this is for the government. The government must provide, according to Section 4 of our Constitution, Section 2 of our Constitution, which provides the duties of the government. Government should provide, amongst others, good roads, good infrastructure, and security, because these are the foundation of a nation's economy. And policies. Our GDP as at 2025, early this year, was positioned to have an increase of about 38%. Yes. Subsidy and tax tweaks, but then in reality, we don't feel it. Mama Femi in Onitsha in Lagos still sells Gary even more than she buys it in the market. So these are things we should look into as a people and as a government. How do we mitigate this hardship? How do we ensure that Nigerians see the dividend of their tax, the tax they pay? How do they see the dividend of the tax? These are things we should look out to. And I believe with time, our government will come together in right senses, and to be a change for the good. That's all for that.
Well, thank you so much, Prince Ezabata Chibozo. This is how we want to say welcome to the family. We'll have you many more times on this program, definitely, and we'll share with you from the wealth of experience that you've got. It will help even young people, because you are among the young people anyway, and we'll work together to ensure that the best is brought forth to the table on a constant note. Good to have you here, sir.
Thank you so much.
Do come again when next we ask you.
It's a pleasure.
Please.
It's a pleasure being here.
All right. That's how we'll be rounding off what we've got for you today, dear viewer. We have spoken and discussed on Nigeria's finances and the expectations of our people. That's another main point we mentioned. I don't know what your expectation will be. That is different from what we have already discussed. But that which you have expected, watch the program. We have just live streamed, and almost our programs, all our programs in most cases are streamed live. So please watch on YouTube and see, even on the Facebook, we have our KAFTAN TV. And watch all the social media networks so that you can see what we have done. Make your contributions. We'll look at these things and talk about them even as we go on in the program. Thank you so much for investing your time on the economy today in KAFTAN television. This is how we round up our activities today. As I thank you, I also want to say thanks to my colleagues with whom I have worked, talking about Brian Chukwebwe, talking about Sam Omaji rather, and talking about a whole lot of others, including Victor Adeye, Victor Chizea. I also want to say thanks to Gani and to all who have worked, and not forgetting Esther Abraham, my assistant. This is also remembering to mention that we had a voice today on the program, and that's talking about the voice of Elizabeth Oka. This is Okechukwu Onobogo saying, may the best happen to all of us all the time.